Hi friends, it's Lisa Mears. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a few of the new products from Scrapbookcom, and I'm going to be making some spring and Easter cards. So first I want to start out with this paper pad. This is the Cottontail Paper Pad. It's perfect for Easter and spring. You can see there's some bunnies in there. There are some ladybugs. We also have some clouds. You can make some really great scene cards with clouds in the sky. This one has some carrots. There are some plaid papers, and the colors in this pad are so pretty. Lots of pastel, pinks, purples, greens, oranges. There's some polka dots and some more bunnies, and there's lots of florals in this pad as well. And this pad comes in both a 6x8 size as well as an A2 size, which is 4¼ by 5½ inches. There are a total of 16 pattern papers in this pad, and you get 5 sheets of each one of the patterns. Next is the nested stamp Polaroids. This die set is so fun. It looks like the shape of a Polaroid picture, and you can use it to frame a die cut or a stamped image. And there are a total of 4 dies in that set. Next, I'm going to be working with the Best of the Bunch word die. This word die is so large, it fills the front of a A2 size card. This is what it looks like when it's put together. Now the next die is not new. I think it came out last year, but I will be using it today on one of my cards. This is the rabbit die. There are so many ways that you can style this rabbit. You can give it a headband, a crown, some heart-shaped sunglasses, a birthday headband. There's so much variety here. So I'm going to be making some cards with these products, and I'll also be bringing in some products along the way, and anything that I use today will be in the description box below, linked for you so you can easily find it on Scrapbook.com's website. So I'm going to start with the rabbit die, and I've already done some die cutting. I'm using the Neutrals paper pad for the shape of the rabbit. I'm also bringing in this sprinkles pad for the light pink color for the ears. I'll also be bringing in the candy paper pad. I chose the dark pink for the glasses, also the teal from that paper pad for the collar, and also the pink for the bunny's shirt. So I'm going to start out by adding some ink to the edges of the bunny head and ears. Since I have a light brown piece of cardstock, I'm using a similar color in the ink, which is the Scrapbook.com Gingerbread ink, and just inking up the edges to add some more depth and dimension to this rabbit. Next, I'm going to use the pink Flamingo ink from Scrapbook.com and ink up the pink ears. And then for the darker pink cardstock, I'm bringing in a darker pink ink, which is the mixed berry ink from Scrapbook.com. So I added some ink to the glasses as well as to the pink shirt. And this little white piece is part of the face, and I'm just adding some pink ink to the edges. So now that all my die cuts are inked, I am going to put this bunny together, starting with this white piece. It goes right down the center of the head of the bunny. So that's where the bunny's mouth and nose will be adhered in just a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add these pink ears right to the edge of the brown ears. So this is like just the accent color for the inside of the ears. And I'll just line those up with the edge of that rabbit. Next, I'm going to add this teal collar to the top of the shirt, lining up the corners of the shirt with the corners of the collar, and then I'll add the rabbit's head right on top, just making sure that it's aligned with the bottom of the rabbit's head right inside of the curvature of that collar. Next, I'm going to add the eyes. So I just die cut the eyes, the nose out of the black cardstock. I added the glue to the rabbit for the eyes, and then I'm using my Scrapbook.com Craft Pick Pro tool just to place those die cuts. onto the glue. I'm going to take the mouth and put some glue on the back of the mouth and then place it on the white area of that rabbit. And then I'll put a little piece of glue right above that, and I'll add the heart-shaped nose. Next, I'm going to add some glue around the heart-shaped glasses, just the inside edge. I'm not putting any glue on the outside edge because it's not being attached to my card yet. And then I just place those over the eyes. Now I'm going to work on this Polaroid frame. So I'm going to find some cardstock from the Cottontail Paper Pad that I want to use. I know I want to use this carrot paper for the inside of that frame. So I die cut the largest frame. It cuts out not only the frame but the inside, and the inside is what I'm going to use with that pattern paper. Using that same frame die, I die cut a piece of white cardstock, and I'll use the white frame. And then I also have the plaid pattern paper, and that's just the reverse of the carrot pattern paper. And I cut that to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. That's going to be the background for my card. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down this large white frame to the plaid pattern paper. And when I glue it down, I'm gluing it down at kind of like an angle. I think that's more fun than just adding a straight frame on the card front. But if you're recreating this card, of course you can do however way you want. And then I'm going to add the carrot pattern paper right inside of that white frame. And this rabbit is going to fit perfectly inside this nested stamp Polaroid die. You can see how it fills that frame perfectly. So I'm just lining the shirt of that rabbit up with the edge of the Polaroid die cut. For my sentiment, I'm using a stamp from the Pretty Pink Posh Easter Sentiment Strip stamps, which has a lot of different sentiments to choose from for Easter and spring. And I just stamped it out on some pink cardstock. This is the same cardstock I used for the inside of the ears. And then I just die cut it with the coordinating dies. And I'm going to add a small foam strip to the back so that it's popped up on my card. And I'm going to place it at the bottom of that Polaroid frame. Next, I'll glue that entire layer to an A2 size card base, which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And I also added a piece of twine to the left side of that frame. I think this is such a cute card for Easter and spring. For my next card, I'm bringing in these nested wavy rectangles from Scrapbookcom, and I'm taking one of those rectangles and die cutting this really pretty floral piece of pattern paper. Now I need to find a piece of cardstock that I can layer underneath with a larger die. I flipped that piece of pattern paper over and it gave me that peachy color, but I don't think that's bright enough for what I'm going for, so I pulled out this darker purple paper and I'm going to die cut a larger rectangle with the purple paper from the Sprinkles Paper Pad. I think that purple will bring out more of the tones in that floral piece of pattern paper. The sentiment for this card is going to be that large word die, "You're the best of the bunch." So I'm going to die cut the words out of the center of the purple wavy rectangle die cut. The center is going to be covered up with the floral print. So by die cutting that word die out of the center, it will allow me to get a lot more use out of that piece of purple pattern paper, and I don't have to waste another piece. Now I did put some 4-inch mint tape over the back just so when I run this through my die cutting machine, all of those pieces stay together. And then when I need to use those letters, I know exactly where they go. Now, one cool thing about this die is that it cuts the letters out of the cardstock. So if you wanted to have another layer of cardstock or pattern paper behind it, you can. And I just die cut this as another example. So if I were to layer a piece of pattern paper behind it, you can actually see how pretty that paper is behind those words. So that's another way of using this die, but I'm going to use the shadow that came with it to layer those letters on top of. And when I bring this close, I want you to see that when you die cut that shadow, it does deboss those letters into the cardstock so you can actually see where to place them when you're ready to place them on the shadow. Since I want the words in my sentiment to be two different colors, I also die cut a piece of this peach cardstock with the same sentiment, and I'm going to use both of these, the peach and the purple, for my sentiment. So I'll start with the word bloom, and I'm just using my glue and outlining the letter B on the shadow layer since I can see it. As I said, it is debossed into the paper, and then I'm taking the letter B and just lining it up on that shadow. Now, because I did put some mint tape on the back, I do have to peel that mint tape off before I add the glue. It probably would have been easier if I put some double-sided adhesive tape on the back of the colored cardstock and then ran that through the die cutting machine. That would also keep these letters together, and then I can just peel back the double-sided adhesive backing and I would already have adhesive on the letters and I wouldn't have to worry about the glue. So that's another option. So the words the best and the word bunch are in the purple colored cardstock, and then I'm going to fill in the rest with the peach colored cardstock. So when finished, the sentiment will say you're the best of the bunch, and I love how that looks using two different colors of cardstock. Now I'm just going to take that purple rectangle layer and add it to an A2 size white card base. And then I'll add the smaller rectangle, which is the floral print, right on top for a layered look. I added some double-sided adhesive foam to the back of the sentiment so that it would be popped up onto the card front. That just adds for some nice dimension to the card, and I'll add that right to the center. And I love how large that sentiment is, that it really fits the whole front of that card. And then I took some flowers from the Sunny Lane floral set from Scrapbookcom, and I die cut those. I'm just using two, and I use the Pink's paper pad for the petals, and then I'm going to add one in the top left corner and one in the bottom right corner. And that's going to complete this card. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. A little head start on making some spring and Easter cards. Remember, all products that I used today will be in the description box below. And if you're interested in finding out more, you can head down there or on my corresponding blog post at lisamearsdesigns.com. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like videos like this and want to see more, be sure to click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.